So we've done all of this work, creating a relationship bank account, depositing positive experiences, building value over time. We've now identified a need, and we have offered as a solution, hey, come and do a goal session with me. We'll see if we can figure out how to help you reach your goal, right? Now we get this one formal, dedicated experience to try to move them towards action on working with a trainer, okay? So week one, we went over the goal session questionnaire. We spent a lot of time learning how to ask follow-up questions and build rapport and dig a little deeper. And, you know, what's your fitness goal? Oh, I just want to get in shape. Okay, well, what would that look like? Right? Like figuring out how to quantify it, all of that kind of stuff. This is sort of like a reminder of that whole section. And I'm working on a couple of updates, just sort of the industry has shifted. And I think even just what we're teaching you, we've maybe learned that we want to do things a little bit differently. So this is call this a working draft for right now. The biggest thing about it is I think we're going to end up putting the PAR-Q at the bottom of the page and having the goal questionnaire at the top. Because if you think about it, yeah, sure, I've built some rapport, I've talked to you on the floor, but I don't necessarily want to kick off this formalized session by asking you a bunch of questions about medication and heart conditions. It's a little bit of a buzzkill, right? So we're probably just going to flip it around. So we ask the questions first. What do you want to get out of today? How can I help you? What are your fitness goals? What's been getting in the way? Why is that goal important to you? You know, what do you think are the biggest roadblocks? Right? We're going to gather all of that information first. And we're saying, great, awesome. Let's just make sure that we do a couple of little screen questions here to make sure that, you know, we're safe on the gym floor. Has your doctor, whatever. Great. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get to work. Right? So just the flow of it is a little bit better. So again, around these questions, what do you want to get out of today is really important, because you want to know what they're expecting. As an example, every now and again, when I ask this question, someone's like, well, I really want a program to follow, so that I can lose some weight. Okay, let's be clear. It takes me like probably a couple hours to write a proper program. So you and I have 1 hour to meet. I want to figure out what you want. I want to show you some things. We want to do some movement assessment. We kind of want to get into a workout, but this single hour is not enough time for me to create a program for you. And I certainly can't teach it to you because I haven't even written it yet, right? Like this is sort of part of what this session is. So I'm certainly able to build a program for you. That's just not something we're going to be able to fully accomplish in our session today. Is that okay? Right? Like if they're expecting to walk away at the end of a session with like a stack of papers that they're going to come back to the gym and follow, I'm going to fail to meet that expectation. So I have to realign that right away at the beginning. That's unfortunately not what we're going to be able to accomplish today. But by the end of today's session, I can certainly show you what it would look like for us to be able to work on that together over the next, couple of weeks or whatever. So we just got to make sure up front that they don't have unreasonable expectations. Okay. Same thing around customized meal plans. We do offer nutrition consultations, but we don't really get up onto the gym floor and do an overhead squat assessment and all that kind of stuff. So if they kind of misunderstood and what they thought they were coming for was nutrition, well, damn, we better figure that out real quick and pivot. So that question is really important. Then we talked about what and why their fitness goals are, why that's really important, the emotional reason why they would be working towards that goal. Right. So again, all of these questions are familiar to you. So we'd be working through that. It's really important to take notes. It's really important to write down the words that they're using so that you can speak their language back to them. And think about it. If they signed up with you today, you'd continue working with them over the next month. You know all about them. You're gonna explore a cumulative relationship. If they don't sign up today and you give them some stuff to work on, and then you talk to them again in a month, hey, how have you been doing working on, what we did together? If you don't have good notes about what they were working on, then you're not going to be able to have that follow-up conversation very well, right? So here's what I used to do as a trainer. I would do the questions. I would kind of make some chicken scratch notes, bullet point. I'd try to kind of write down as much as I could without just being buried in the piece of paper. And then at the end of the session or at the end of the day, if I had to wait till the end of the day, I would write more notes while I'm still thinking about them, while I can still remember some of what we said. And even on the back of the sheet, I might write down, I recommended 24 sessions, but their objection was time. They don't think they can commit to doing 3 times a week training right now. So I recommended these 2 group fitness classes because they seem to really need the accountability. I'm going to try to write down as much as I can remember about talking to that person so that the next time I talk to them, I can reference what actually happened. They're going to remember meeting with me a lot more clearly than I'm going to remember meeting with them because I meet with lots of people, right? So how embarrassing would it be if I confused them with someone else? Oops, huge withdrawal, right? So if you're like, oh man, I suck at taking notes, like during, I don't really know how I'm going to be able to do that. Write a couple important bullet points, but then sit down after and fill it out. Make sure you get the rest of those notes. That's going to be really helpful, right? Sometimes when I go back and write my notes after, I even have like 2 or 3 pages of notes, but I just include that in the file for this person. And now I can go reference those notes the next time I'm going to meet with them. Okay. From there, now we get into, now we're actually on the gym floor. The one thing that we don't have on this sheet is a place to write down their body composition measurements, but that's because most of our gyms now have an in-body machine that prints out a full piece of paper. So I would just attach that piece of paper to this one, and that's going to give me my full body comp. So we're going to do the body comp, we're going to do the cardio step test, and we're going to do the overhead squat. And so what I've got is places to sort of make notes about the results of those 2 assessments, okay? Now, we're gonna go through the cardio one here. Again, this is a working draft, so it might not look exactly like this in the long run. But when we do the step test, I gotta make sure that you're looking at the right document here. When we go through the step test, you've got your data table, right? You're gonna do your 3 minutes, 12-inch box, 96 steps per minute. You're going to get a recovery score based on their age and their biological sex. And then that gives you a word. Okay. So then the word correlates to the zone of heart rate training that they are currently able to do. Most of the time, it's going to be between zone 2, 3, and 4. If they're super deconditioned, it might be zone 1. If they're a super fit person, it might be zone 5. But I was hedging my bets a little bit on this sheet, saying most of the time the training recommendation is going to be between zone 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So this little chart at the top, zone 2, 60 to 70%, that's light endurance and general fitness, and it's aerobic. The energy system they are using is aerobic, right? So Toko, if someone has access to zone 2, are they going to be able to successfully perform a hypertrophy workout and build muscle mass?
Zone 2, right? Maybe not.
Not.
Yeah.
Here with the maybe. Not. Light endurance, general fitness, aerobic. Okay. So what that means is they're able to, and they're comfortable working out with their heart rate between 60 and 70%. They're able to breathe in enough oxygen to support the work that they're doing. There is no lactic acid being produced. There is no growth hormone being elicited. There is not going to be a state of muscular breakdown, and therefore there will not be hypertrophy on the other side if they continue working out at that zone, right? So for some people, they want to lose weight. Would they be able to lose weight in zone 2?
Yes.
Yes, because now it's just a function of energy in, energy out. So if they exercise a couple times a week and they manage their food intake, they'll be able to lose weight. So this is really important. What zone do they have access to? What zone do they need to access to reach their goal? those might not be the same thing. We might have someone who wants to gain muscle who can access zone 2. That doesn't match. Okay. We might have someone who wants to lose weight and they can access zone 4. Great. That's more than they need. Okay. So the idea for me with this little table is to be able to educate people a little bit, right? We're trying to move them from pre-contemplation about training. We're trying to educate them. We're trying to think about working with us. So if we say, hey, right now you have access to zone 2, that's great. That's light endurance, general fitness, and aerobic. That would be a great way to burn calories. You'd be working on the overall sort of like aerobic strength of your heart. You'd be able to use that zone in order to lose weight. But in terms of reaching your goal of gaining 10 pounds of muscle mass, that's not enough. Your heart is not working hard enough. Your heart is not strong enough for us to be getting in the amount of volume and intensity that we need in a weightlifting workout, right? Flip side, if someone has access to zone 4, great job. That's more than enough for achieving weight loss. Let's get you started right away. Or, hey, great job. You have access to zone 4. That's the zone you need in order to be able to do a weightlifting program properly and achieve muscle gain, right? So zone 2 and 3 makes sense for muscular endurance, weight loss, maybe even certain sports performance, right? Like a triathlete, a runner, a cyclist, right? But if we want to see weight gain, if we want to see muscle gain, if we want to see, like hockey, soccer, football, CrossFit type performance, well, we're going to need at least zone 4 to do that. Okay. So this little table allows us to educate a little bit. Now, let's say that their recovery heart rate was, I just got to look at my table real quick and pick one. Let's say that the recovery put them in a zone that is good. So we'll say for this person, let's say they were 27-year-old female and a recovery score of 87 puts them in the zone, which is good, which is zone 3. Okay. Their max heart rate is going to be 208 minus 0.7 times their age. So like what I'm typing here is things I would be writing down in the session versus what's already in here and is like printed out on the template for you. Okay. So if we did 0.7 times 27, and then we did 208 minus that 18.9, let's just call their max heart rate 190 beats per minute. We would want to educate this person that, hey, so based on your age, your max heart rate is 190 beats per minute. So they can currently access zone 3. I think technically good is zone 4, but whatever, let's go with it. They can access zone 3 for them to achieve weight loss. That's good. So then if I was going to give them a steady state day, I would want it to be in that 70 to 80, right? Because that's what they currently have access to. And then when I give them intervals, I'd want their intervals to go up into that 80 to 90% zone. So now again, so I'm filling this information out during the session, right? I'm doing a little bit of math with them so that they're learning about their own personal cardiovascular training needs, okay? And then at the same time, what I would do, because I can't say, hey, run at 70 to 80% on the treadmill, that's not helpful. What I would say about that is 190 times 0.7 is 133, and 190 times 0.8 is 152 beats per minute. And I would say maybe for this person, we're going to do 2 times per week for 30 minutes at that heart rate zone. And then maybe 1 time a week, right? And then maybe what I also want to do for their intervals is say that the, call this medium, right? And then we'll call this high. It's going to be 152 to 190 times 0.9. Oops, 0.9. Is 171. And what I want is like, I want to do an interval program one time per week. And then I might even use this space down here to say for your interval program, I might even say you're going to do 5-minute warm up. And then you're going to do 20 minutes working set where you're doing 3 minutes medium and 1 minute high. And then you're going to do a 5-minute. Right? So I've already given them, hey, your medium is between 133 and 152, and then your high is between 152 and 171. And so I'm literally writing in the recommendation for them for their cardio program. So this might look a little different in the long run. It might look a little different if you're doing it, but I would suggest that we want to give them this type of information. If they don't train with us, and we give them this, we're giving them some specific direction to work on their own. And then maybe I go back to this person a month later and I say, hey, how's your cardio been going? They're like, oh, it's really great. Yeah, that interval program was kicking my butt. I love it. And then I'm like, okay, great. Why don't you come back and we'll check your heart rate, your step test again, and we'll see if you've improved. Right? It gives me something really specific to check up on. Numbers are really important. If someone wants to lose weight, they step on the scale, right? We've got to have more metrics than that. If they want to get in shape, one of the biggest ways that we can measure that is with that cardio score. And if someone starts off really low and then they improve and then they get to like above average or good, then that's great. We want to recognize that. That's hard to do if we don't have metrics, right? So that's my suggestion. I think this is an appropriate level of science. As trainers, it's easy enough for us to do this. And the whole 3 minutes medium, 1 minute high thing, I have that in my brain. I picked it off of one of those cardio prescriptions that we gave you out in class, right? The beginner 2 days and the intermediate 3 days and the advanced 3 days. Like it's just in my head as being a good interval program. It's a medium interval program, right? So I think if we give at least this much service, then we're giving a valuable point of contact that sort of earns us the right to talk about it on the other side. Okay. All right. Then from there, we would go and do our overhead step. Our overhead squat. Okay. And what I would do is have them do it, and I would make some notes about what I'm seeing. So maybe their feet turn out, and maybe their low back arches. Okay. So then I'm going to kind of quickly in my head figure out like, okay, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to show them? So I might say femoral calves and quads. And I might say stretch hip flexors. And then for the strengthening exercises, I would probably say hip bridges, right? Or I might say dead bug, hold 45 seconds. And then I might say hip bridges 3 times 15, right? Whatever. I'm giving them this tiny little mini exercise prescription, okay? So then what I've done by writing that down, that's my dynamic warm-up for this person. That's the first part of the workout that I'm going to show them, right? So that's like, it's not a full 6-phase dynamic warm-up, but that's okay because it's a first session. By this point, I probably only have 20 or 25 minutes available. So I'm going to show them those 4 things. And then we're going to go and we're going to figure out what does their actual workout need to look like. And it might be some machines, it might be some body weight. Like I want to give them what they want, but I also want to show them how I train. So if they're like, I really want to learn how to use the circuit machines, okay, that's what we're going to do. Or if they're like, yeah, I just want to learn like, you know, some new exercises, I want to lose some weight. Cool. Well, then I can show them a little bit more of what I like, or maybe a little bit of both, whatever. But usually I find I have time for, if I do some foam rolling, some stretching, a dead bug, a hip bridge, normally I have time for about 4 to 6 exercises. That's what I find. We might even just do one set. And on these hip bridges and on these dead bugs, I might only do 1 or 2 sets, right? I'm sort of giving them what a full workout would look like. We're only going to do 25 minutes. So then as I fill this out, and again, I always walk into this kind of knowing what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a TRX squat, a TRX row, and shoulder taps. That's a really common set for me. And it allows me to show them how to do some really good exercises with good form, right? And then depending on who they are, maybe I'm going to do something machine, or maybe I'm going to do something with, other functional training tools or whatever. That's fine. But let's say for the sake of this one, I'm going to do a body weight reverse lunge. I'm going to do an incline push up, and I'm going to do some battle ropes. Like, part of what my brain is thinking about is, where are all of these things? These things are usually in the training area. There's a TRX, there's a kettlebell, there's, like, I don't have to wait around for a leg curl machine. I might not be able to get it. This allows me to go a little quicker. And so then what I can do as I'm filling this out for my client, again, I want them to hire me, but what if they don't? What am I going to give them? Well, I could give them this. If they don't hire me, it gives me something to check back on, right? So let's say that we would do, 3 sets of 15 squats and 3 sets of 12 rows, and we would do 3 sets of 30 seconds for the shoulder taps. Maybe we would do 3 times 10 each for the lunges, 3 times 10 on the push-ups, and 3 times, actually 30 seconds is tough. Let's just do 20 seconds for the battle ropes. And then as it's all, like, sometimes, honestly, team, this is already filled out, this part. And then I would just add in the weight as I do it with them, or I might have to make a change to the exercise based on their ability level, right? Maybe they're really good and I don't want to do a TRX squat. I want to do a single arm goblet kettlebell squat, whatever. I can make that change as I go. But then I might add in the weight as we go. In this case, there kind of are no weights, so that's fine. And then I can give the person the whole backside of this sheet, And to them, it's like I just gave them a workout program. So even though at the beginning I said, hey, we don't really have time to build out like a full program, nonetheless, I've actually given them a workout, because they could come in and do 20 minutes of cardio, steady state, and then they could do foam roll calves, quads, stretch hip flexors, dead bug, hip bridge, TRX set, reverse lunge set. That's a 1-hour workout, right? So then I might give them that, and then I might say, okay, why don't you do a spin class and a yoga class? If they did that, 1 day workout, 1 day spin, 1 day yoga, if they did that for a month and they actually followed it, and I checked in on them a couple weeks later and they're like, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. This is awesome. And then I checked in with them at the end of that month. Would they be better? Would they be stronger? Would they be fitter? Would they be feeling confident because they've been able to, like, get to the gym 3 times a week? Yeah. And if they get to the end of that first month and they're like, this is great, this is awesome, they're going to be like, hey, thank you so much. And then I'm going to be like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like, you've got some great exercises. Like, what do you think about like maybe adding a second day of resistance training and like learning some new movements? And they're like, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to. Okay, cool. Let's talk about getting you into some personal training. But if they come to a session, I give them a bunch of stuff that they don't really know. I don't write anything down for them. I don't send them away with anything. I don't give them any kind of programming recommendation. I'm like, well, if you don't pay me, you don't get my help. Then a month from now, how do they feel? They're struggling. They don't really know what to do. They don't really feel like they're making progress. They've gone to spin. The spin instructor was really nice. I guess I'll just keep going to spin because they seem to care about me, right? So the funny thing for me is this intake, we've always had the same service standard, but we don't see a lot of people do a good job of it. And I think revamping the sheet a little bit will help, but also just understanding how to use the sheet properly, right? And then just being committed to helping people at this level every time. Like, I'm never going to offer less than this. That's the bare minimum standard that I'm going to offer. If they hire me, then I can offer more. But this is going to be the bare minimum. That to me is really important. And that's going to make a big difference. Again, around the bank accounts that you're creating with people, those bank accounts have way more money in them than someone who's like, well, I don't really want to help you unless you pay me. Okay. So let's assume that we've gone through that whole process. We did the TRX squat and the row and the shoulder tap, and we did, maybe even at the end, we like stretched out their hamstrings. How'd you feel? Great. I feel awesome. The last thing we got to do now is go back to that sales presentation and just like put the finishing touches on the experience. Okay. So Toko, I'm gonna use you because I can see you. Some of you don't have videos on, so it's weird for me to talk to dark screens. So I'm gonna use Toko. We're gonna pretend, Toko, that we just went through that whole thing together. Okay. So the only thing I don't have out of all of the stuff I would normally have is your in-body, right? I don't have your measurements, but normally I would if we'd gone through the whole thing together. So what I'm gonna do is try to show you a really, really simple version of asking for the sale. Again, it's different now. Fitness World changed their pricing. They have EFT, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm just going to show you what putting a cap on the session looks like. Okay. Super quick, Toko, just give me a goal. What do you want to, why did you come in to meet with me today?
I want to lose 15 pounds in, I don't know, 6 months maybe.
Okay. And why is that important?
Because none of my clothes fits now, and I don't look good. Every time I see in the mirror, I feel like I'm fat and invariable.
Aw, muffin. Okay, I can work with that. Thank you. Okay, so we finished with the hamstring stretch. I'm going to say, Toko, you did a great job today. How do you feel?
I feel really good.
Excellent. That was awesome. That was a great workout. I'm super proud of you. I want to make sure that before you leave, you know exactly what to do to reach your goal. So I want to sit down. I want to go over what we did together, and I want to make sure you know what's next. Okay. Okay. So then we would sit down at a computer. We would be looking at this screen together. And I would say, okay, Toko, you did an awesome job today. Like I said, I'm super proud of you. You worked really hard. And it was awesome to be on the gym floor and do some things with you. Now I want to review exactly what you need to do to go to the next step, right? You said you want to lose 15 pounds. You said in 6 months. That's a really good timeline. And so let's take a look at exactly how that's going to happen. Okay. So my goal today was to exceed your personal training expectations. I really wanted, we've been talking a little bit on the gym floor. I really wanted you to come in today and have a great experience with me doing a workout. So I hope I was able to do that. You were really nice. You said you had a good time, but I think we had a great session together. What do you think?
Yeah, we really had a great session, and I sweat a lot, and it was really good experience.
Good. What was your favorite movement that we did?
I really like the TRX because I never tried before, and I didn't, I was looking at it and I'm like, what are those things hanging down? And you showed me how to use it and how to adjust. One time I tried to use it, but I couldn't figure it out, so I just gave it up.
Totally.
It was great.
It's one of my favorite tools. I like to use it with my clients a lot. And exactly like you say, you don't know what to do with it until you learn how. So it's a really fun tool to use. You got it. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Great. So the biggest thing for me when you came in, we were talking about not just getting a great workout in, which we did, but you have a goal to reach. And what's really important to me is that when you work out, you're actually on a journey. You're trying to accomplish something, right? It takes a little bit of time, right? You said you want to lose 15 pounds in 6 months. So the whole thing for me is I want to make sure you reach that goal. I want to make sure that you learn, why you're doing what you're doing and how to do it. And I want to make sure that you get great results. I want to make sure that you're safe and that you feel good. And I think that journey that we actually just started that today because we got a great workout in together. And so we're now well on our way towards achieving that goal. So I think it was really cool that we were able to do that together. And I had a ton of fun doing it. And listen, you said that you wake up in the morning and you don't, your clothes don't fit and you don't like how you feel. And I totally understand. I hear that sometimes. And so, yeah, let's lose some weight, but also let's feel better. Let's feel more confident. Let's feel happy, right? You did that last set of battle ropes and your arms were kind of burning a little bit, but you actually had a big grin on your face and you were accomplishing something. So it's really important that we make more of that happen. It's not just about losing 15 pounds, right? It's really about kind of having a more extraordinary life, feeling better about what we're doing. So I think you've got a really important goal, and now I really want to make sure that you're able to achieve it. Okay, so here's how we're going to make that happen. We've got 5 pillars of fitness. Okay, so in order to lose 15 pounds, we want to take a look at food intake. Now I want you to be able to eat what you like, but we just got to learn how much and sort of how to make it work with your lifestyle. I know you're super busy, so we're going to have to find a way to make eating healthy easy. But what we're going to do is we're going to work on logging food, and we're going to learn about planning out our meals a little bit. And I think that that's going to really, really help with your weight loss and even just making sure you have more energy. So I want you to feel better, have more energy, work out successfully. And a lot of that's going to come from having some guidance on food intake. So have you ever followed a meal plan or anything like that before?
No, I just eat whatever I feel like to eat,
Okay.
which is not really good, I think.
Well, so we'll find a way to still make sure you're eating what you like, but we'll just have a little bit of maybe structure set up so that you kind of can make some easy choices around then fueling your body properly. And then that'll help with achieving your weight loss. Okay. The second thing is cardio. So we did a step test together, right? And your step test score was actually good. That's good. You can train in zone 3. So as you can see, this is where I would pull up where I wrote down. So I've given you some direction here about the heart rate zone that you need to train in so that you get the best results doing as little as possible, right? You're busy. You don't have time to be here for 2 hours on the treadmill. So if you were to follow this cardio program on the days in between your weightlifting workouts, your heart would get stronger, you'd be burning calories, you'd be gaining more energy, and that's really going to help with achieving your goal. So would you be willing to do about 30 minutes of cardio twice a week? Do you think you could do that?
I think I can manage that.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So then I'm going to give you this, and that's going to be, you can even follow this for a couple of weeks, and that's going to be how we can start your cardio program. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
On the flexibility pillar, really important one for me. We want to move better and we want to feel great. So I know you sit down a lot. When we did our overhead squat, we were sort of looking for how are we moving? Where are the opportunities in the body to help you move better? And then we actually did a little bit of foam rolling and some stretching, right? So when you were foam rolling your left leg, no big deal. When you were foaming your right leg, it was a little bit more uncomfortable, right? So when we look at the squat test, when we look at the little sort of stretching and foam rolling exercises that I've recommended, if we do those on a regular basis, we're going to notice that we feel a lot better, and that's actually going to allow us to train better. So the whole thing about moving well is when we move well, we can move faster, we can do more, we can lift more weights, and that's really going to help with you feeling more confident and reaching your goals. So that flexibility pillar is important. When I work with my clients, if we were to work together some more, I would teach you more things, more foam rolling, more stretching, more mobility drills, because I think it's really important to keep the body safe, healthy. We want to avoid injuries. We want to feel good. Okay. So then that takes us into resistance training. And so far you've said you've been doing mostly cardio and group fitness classes and stuff, and that's awesome. That's a great place to start. But the benefit of adding resistance training is that you would burn more calories throughout the day. So if we were to start incorporating some resistance training, let's say if we went 2 to 3 times a week, starting to lift some weights, even when you're done the workout, your body's burning more calories. So then what that means is you get to lose weight faster because you're burning more calories. And it also makes it easier to keep the weight off, right? So it's always a huge bummer for me. If I see someone lose like 15 pounds and then they're like, yay, and then they stop their diet and then they gain it back, right? when we do resistance training, if we add a little bit of lean muscle mass to the body, it actually changes the body. Now we burn more energy and it's easier to maintain the weight loss. Plus, you kind of had some fun doing some of those strength exercises, right? I think it's really beneficial also to be stronger and to be capable of doing more things. So I think out of everything we did together, that was sort of the biggest opportunity today, was to start looking at learning some more resistance training techniques. So how do you feel about that? Do you think you'd like to do more resistance training in the future?
Yeah, definitely. It sounds really great that I can still burn more calories when I'm done workout.
Yeah.
And I'll be a little bit scared to lift weight. I only have 5 pounds dumbbell at home,
Hmm.
but if you help me with good posture and stuff like you did today, I feel more safer. So that would be
Perfect.
great.
Yeah, awesome. And so if we looked at doing that, I feel like you'd also have more confidence in the gym, because knowing that you're doing something safely probably feels a lot better than not being sure, right? So we would really want to make sure that that's part of what we're trying to learn, is that you feel confident doing these exercises at the gym, even when you're training by yourself. Awesome. Well, so that kind of puts it all together. My job is to offer professional assistance. I want to help you reach your goal quickly and safely. So by using all of these pillars and putting a program together for you, I feel really confident that we'd be able to achieve your goal. So I'm a Canadian fitness professional certified personal trainer, and I'm a graduate of the British Columbia Personal Training Institute. So the whole reason I got into being a trainer was I had a great experience with a trainer myself, and I really love fitness, and it really helped me, feel more confident, feel strong. I fell in love with it. And so I really wanted to be able to help people like you have sort of that similar transformation. So you were a ton of fun to work with today. And I think your goal is so doable and so important. I think it would be really, really awesome if we were able to continue working together. So what it would look like if we were to put a program together, there's a lot of fancy words on this page. That's my job. What I want you to see is it's like climbing a ladder. So today we did some TRX exercises, we did some body weight exercises. We were really focused on form and feeling confident, comfortable in the movements. But eventually you'll get really good at those movements. In order to help you keep losing weight, we then need to progress the program. So we would then learn some new exercises, or we would add some extra weight, or we would change how we're doing the program. So a big part of my job in creating the program is making sure that you're always getting better. It's not day one, day two, and then you do those programs for the rest of your life. That would work at first, but then you'd hit what we call a plateau and you would stop making improvements. So what we're looking at is that if you want to lose 15 pounds, you've said 6 months. Realistically, we say weight loss happens maybe 1 to 2 pounds per week. So we could actually look at losing that weight in realistically 3 to 4 months. We could actually get there a little faster. And I think it would still be totally doable. It wouldn't turn your life upside down. I think that's a really healthy pace for weight loss. So if we were to kind of look at each step on this ladder, like about a month, then what we need is 3 to 4 steps on the ladder. We need 3 to 4 phases of the program in order to help you reach your goal of losing 15 pounds. So in that time, we'd be learning lots of exercises, you'd be gaining confidence. And I think it'd be really cool for you to be able to sort of learn all of the things that we would go through in those steps. So I've said a fair bit at this point. I'm going to pause. I'm going to check. Do you have any questions about what we've talked about so far?
Oh, are you asking me? I thought you're asking to everyone now. Okay. So I will be doing, so in this, well, I know these some of the word I don't understand even, but I will be in phase 1 first, and then I go up the ladder, like you kind of mentioned.
You got it. Best way to climb a ladder is one rung at a time, right? So starting with exercises that are kind of similar to what we did today, because that was a pretty good sweaty workout. But then as you get stronger, as you get better, we'll just keep making our way up the ladder so that you constantly make progress instead of just kind of flatlining and getting stuck somewhere.
Mm. I have a question. I think it depends on
By the way,
how I do.
I'm gonna interrupt you for a quick second.
Oh,
By the
sorry.
way, nobody ever has questions. I'm just letting
Oh,
you.
really?
I mean, you would for sure, but most people, nobody ever asks questions. They're just
Okay,
like,
let's skip that.
but carry on. That's okay. Ask your questions.
I know you have a lot of experience, and then I know we just worked out just 20 minutes, last 20 minutes, but by the way how I move, do you think how long does it take for me to move from phase 1 to phase 2?
Yeah, usually we say that we're gonna do a phase for 4 to 6 weeks. So every 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to change the program that you're doing. So it's like you learn it, you get better, you get stronger, and then we change it. And so it's usually 4 to 6 weeks for a phase. So like I said, probably 3 to 4 months, probably 3 to 4 phases by the time we get you up and rolling.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sounds good. 1 to 3. Yeah, I can go up to phase 3 then.
There you go. Great questions. I like it. Shows you were paying attention. That was awesome. Okay. So if all that sounds good, then the last thing that I got to show you is just what the options are for us to actually start training together. Okay. So we have lots of options. We do anything from 1 session all the way to 36. But what we talked about for you was getting started on losing 15 pounds, gaining some confidence in the gym, feeling better about ourselves, right? So what I would recommend as a good place to start is picking either 12 or 24 sessions. So 12 sessions would allow us to train 3 times a week for 1 month. So we'd be doing 1 phase of training. That would be a really good way to learn resistance training, take a look at nutrition and get started, right? That'd be a good start. If we did 24 sessions, same start, but it would give us a second month to change the program and continue on towards your goal, right? Ultimately, I said probably 3 to 4 months in total to reach your goal. But I think starting with either 12 or 24 would be a really good place for us to start. You could obviously do more in the future if you wanted to. So out of those two, which one do you think you'd like to start with today?
Let's do 24 because I like to do a little bit of extra stuff, like you said, and then I want to feel confident that I can achieve my goal.
Awesome. She's making it easy for me, as if everyone says yes right away on the first time. It does for sure happen. But I would say, at least for now, what we want is to be able to get through that description, right? 95 is that for a PT with multiple courses. Regan, we really don't want anyone to buy 1 session ever. So that's why you notice 1 session is 95 and then 36 is 80. So we really don't want single sessions. That's not what we do, right? That's just 1 workout. It's not a program. It's not helping someone reach their goal. So it's a sales tactic, I guess, to say, hey, it's a $95 value, but when you purchase 12 sessions, you pay $85 per session. Like I said, though, all of this is different, right? Fitness World has a whole new structure. This is old. This is from Fitness World back in the day. And no, it's not the chart for all PTs. That's level 1. We had level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so level 1 is the lower rate and it goes up over time. But again, Fitness World reset the prices lower because we're now a low cost, high value model. So this is old, so I wouldn't worry about it. But, scale it up. I charge $150 a session to my clients. I have like 9,000 certifications. Okay. All right. So what I wanted out of that experience was for you to have an idea of how we get to the end of that first session, right? How we get to the end of what do you want and what are your goals and why is it important to you? And okay, here's your cardio test, here's your step test, here's your, right? So let's just pretend that Toka was like, thank you so much, that was awesome, but I really just want to work on my own for a little bit. I would say, okay, listen, it was awesome working with you today. I really encourage you to get started with some of the stuff that we looked at today. I really think that's going to help you. let me make a copy of this for you. So then she would get a copy of this whole side, she'd get a copy of this whole piece of paper, right? With the cardio thing and the what should you stretch and what should you strengthen, and here's your little workout. And then I might even add some notes at the bottom. I might even say, you know, I really recommend spin 9 a.m. Saturday with Johnny and yoga Wednesday 5 p.m. with Troy, right? Like whatever, I'm making some recommendations. So if you did the cardio and the yoga one day, and you did the cardio and the weightlifting one day, and then you did spin one day, great, 3 times a week, boom, there you go. Okay, so I would give her a copy of all of that, and then I would say, you know, can I check in with you tomorrow to see how you're feeling? Sure, thanks, I really appreciate it. And then we feel really good, and then we go our separate ways, and like she likes me and we're happy, and in my mind she's my client because I've now given her a program to follow, right? Then the next day I'm gonna text her, hey Toko, how you feeling today? And she's like, oh my God, my legs are a little bit sore, it's awesome. That was so, see, I told you worked hard yesterday, way to go. Are you gonna check out Johnny's spin class on Saturday? Yeah, I think my legs will feel better, I'm gonna try that. Like, she's my client, I care about her, I'm gonna follow up, right? 2 weeks in, hey, I see you doing your TRX, that's awesome, it looks really good. Remember, pull your shoulders back when you do that row, high five, keep going, right? And then even, you know, we've got a member appreciation day at the end of the month. I'd love to check in with you and do another session, and, you know, we can redo your step test and see how you're doing. Great. I'd love to come back in and do another session with you. All of that is good. All of that is depositing into the bank account, right? So she's going to do 24 sessions with me, but if she didn't, I would at least give her that much. And I would say, hey, I want to check in on you in a couple of weeks. Can, you know, I said we should lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. So if we check in a month, you should have lost a couple of pounds, right? If we check in at the end of the month and she hasn't lost any weight, I remind her what her goal is. And I say, what do you think's getting in the way? And she's like, well, I just haven't really been able to change my nutrition at all. I've been really busy. I'm really enjoying your workouts though. I could say, cool, well, it's been about a month. It's like, you're ready to change your program. Remember, we talked about the phase changing, and also like, obviously nutrition would be really helpful. You've spent a whole month working out on your own, and you didn't see the results you were looking for. Do you think it might be a good idea for us to relook at training? Like, I'm doing it from a really authentic, genuine place. I've already tried to help you for free. That didn't work. I still really want to help you, but maybe you need more of my help now. That's what proper client management looks like, right? Versus like, you said no, I'm never talking to you again. How embarrassing, right? So there's kind of like a, it's not a meme, I don't really know what to say. It's like a sales standard. 80% of salespeople stop after 2 points of contact, but 80% of sales are made after 10 points of contact. So if we just kept following up, high five, great job, how are you, follow up text, come to my phone, like by the time Toko and I have 10 positive points of contact, she's been thinking about it, man, Logan, so you know what, I think I really would love to do, okay, I'm not gonna put new tires on my car, I'm gonna save for some personal training. And then like 10 points of contact later, Toko's like, you know what, I think I'd really like to work with you. Can we do 12 sessions? Like, that's really all I can afford right now, but I think a month of training would do me a world of good. Amazing. For sure. And then during that month of training, I will earn the right for more business. Maybe she's going to do a month with me and then a month on her own and then come back again. Maybe she's going to do a month with me and she loves it so much. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to stop buying so many boots. I want to keep training with you. I took a guess. Lots of girls like boots. I don't know. Okay. So that's kind of the gamut. That sort of takes us through the whole thing, right? And then again, when we actually get into a club and they have a dedicated process, like I said, Fitness World has a whole new thing now. So you'll have to update a little bit, but that's kind of the gist of the building your business piece. So does anybody have any questions about what we went over today?
It's really nice that you give those things out because I've been a member of Fitness World long enough to have like free sessions a few times, right? And then nobody really gave me that. And then, I should have signed up probably, but I feel like more supported. And then after, you following up from time to time, I feel like you said, after 10 points of contact or even less, I feel really supported and I build trust on you. And then I probably don't look anyone else and but just come to you, like if I want personal trainer, right?
Thank you for saying that, Toko. Here's the thing that's crazy. Here's the thing I want you all to understand. Toko's a member of a gym. She loves working out. She's had a bunch of free sessions from a trainer. She's like the nicest person ever. She was like, yeah, I want to do 24 sessions with you. Any one of the trainers that she'd met with before, if they just done a better job of getting to know her, really dialing in on her goals, and then like really over delivering on service, that's what we need to do. If they'd done that, then she would have been like, yeah, you know what? I want to learn from you. I want to be your client. Right?
Yeah.
So this is the thing. Like a lot of times people in BCPTI are members at our clubs. They've worked out with our trainers before. You even have a trainer, right? But like, this is what blows my mind is that like so many trainers are like, man, it's so hard to find clients. And I'm like, okay, show me your green sheet. Like the thing I just filled out with you. There's nothing written on it. Show me the recommendations you gave them when they said, thanks, but I don't want to train with you. You didn't give them any. Show me how you followed up with them a day later, a week later, a month later. Oh, you never followed up with them ever again. It's not hard to gain clients. You just have to build, like you just have to be willing to deposit in the bank account. Like it blows my mind. So fine, maybe some people learned online and they passed their multiple choice exam and no one ever taught them how to do this stuff. But like it hurts me a little bit because a lot of people come and work for us and they don't even do this, despite how much we're saying like, guys, this is the way, right? My Zoom works. Do you want to say hi today? It's like we've got a video and everything. In a minute, he's chewing. So this Chris is gonna swallow and then he'll say whatever he wants to say. Toko just agreed to do 24 sessions with me because my goal assessment was like on point. It was really good.
Yeah, I'm coming to that gym and work out every day.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You can take payment over the phone and need your credit card.
Did you hear that? He says we can take payment over the phone. Go get your credit card.
Oh, okay. Funny.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hello,
Very nice to
everybody.
meet you.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So how much more time do they have left before they're in the real world trying to be trainers?
Thursday is our last Zoom class, and then they get to write their exam. Toko and Stephanie were here this weekend for Fast Track. They joined the Fast Track group, and that was awesome. So yeah, we're close. We're close.
Cool.
Almost there.
You guys have any questions? Anything I can answer about fitness, taking a job as a personal trainer, anything that you're thinking about from a career perspective, next steps?
Cannot wait to be personal trainer. This
Well,
is
that's
nice.
exciting.
My dream job. Cannot wait. Almost there. I will prepare myself to study harder.
Very exciting.
So Renee is at Nanaimo, and Toko has already talked to Stephanie. She trains with Rohit downtown. Stephanie is an awesome group fitness instructor. She's one of Jeanette's people. So like we're pretty good. Asif already works out at Sutterbrook and he's been helping a friend exercise. So I think this group's pretty much good to go.
You're solid.
Solid. A good group.
Well, if you win someday, you'll probably see me in the clubs. If obviously you take a job in Fitness World, and when you see me, feel free to ask questions. I started in the business as a personal trainer, believe it or not. So it's been a few moons ago at this point, but I'm very passionate about it. I certainly don't know what I used to know from a technical perspective. That's why, I have Logan, way smarter than I am. But at the end of the day, that's what, my position's about. So it's surrounding myself with great people. And so you guys all seem like great people. So hopefully you'll embark on this adventure of working at Fitness World and being part of what we're building here. It's pretty incredible. We're having a lot of fun and look forward to having you on the team. All right, I'll let you guys go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
Okay, nice to meet you, Chris.
I was just chatting with our friend.
So Logan, do you think after I pass my exam, so I can start doing to offer my group fitness participant? If I saw so many, then probably that's a chance I can offer this a little free session just to do that.
100%. So
Mhm.
remember when I started, I was a group fitness instructor. I was teaching spin and yoga.
Mhm.
And I kept having people come up to me saying like, hey, my legs are cooked. What do I do for my arms? And for a while I was like, well, I can't help you. I'm a trainer. I'm not a trainer. And then I was like, you know what? The next person that asks me, I'm just going to help them, whatever.
Mhm.
That's how I became a trainer.
Yeah.
So having that connection with your group fitness people, you've already had the points of contact. You've already done the value build. You've already got a huge bank account with them. Now all you got to do is say, okay, what do you want? What's your goal? What's holding you back? Because group fitness is awesome, but we don't get to do nutrition and we don't get to do resistance training. We don't get to do proper programs and we don't really get to do lifestyle coaching, right? It's just show up, warm up, sweat, have a good time. Thanks so much for coming. Bring a friend next time, right? Group fitness is just a little bit different. But yeah, 100%, that'd be a great place to start.
But I have to pass my exam first, right? Before I start to help them.
Absolutely.
Because now I'm not certified.
That's right.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Start to work out my own workout and the where I teach now, then that the people see my face.
That's right.
I gotta introduce myself to them.
That's right. I would even start like a countdown. Hey team, let's get our Zumba on. I've got 32 days until I write my PT exam. Like you can even start a countdown and it holds you accountable to passing, but also you could start saying like, hey, I'm going to do my exam next week. You can come try a session with me.
Okay.
You
So
can even,
I already make an announcement. I say, hey, my school is over, will be wrap up this week. And then I'm done my school. I just prepare my exam. Then I'm certified as a personal trainer. I make an announcement already.
100%. You got it.
Great.
Regan, I'm going to come back to you because you said you still don't know what to charge. Hey, I totally get it. When we talk about placement, Fitness World's great because they tell you what to charge. They've got a whole system already. But we also know that some of our students don't go to work for Fitness World. That's fine. You don't have to. When it comes to what else you might do, if you are going to embark on offering training on your own, if you're going to do maybe like work out of your family's clinic or work out of a dance, like whatever it is you want to do. I don't sort of give blanket recommendations because I don't think that makes sense, but we do business coaching for graduates. So if you want to have some help, if you want to ask some questions, if you want to get a business set up, if you want to ask about what do I charge, if you want to have some help building a structure because you're going to be doing it on your own, we do that. So feel free to reach out separately and we can, figure out what it is that you're looking for. When is that? Well, it's up to you. Like for example, I have an 11:30 Zoom every Thursday with a former grad. She likes coaching. We're working through lots of stuff. She's decided that she benefits from coaching on a weekly basis. So we've been doing it for a couple of months. I'm helping her build an online business. I'm helping her get into a studio. Like it's based on what she needs, right? So just if you want to learn a little bit more about it, just send me a message or send me an email and we can chat a little bit. Like I said, Josh and I have done training in so many different ways. We really like what Fitness World has to offer, but we've also done other things. So depending on what the right fit is for you to get started, if there's anything we can do to help you get yourself up and running, I like to say I've made every mistake in the book, so maybe I can help you avoid some of the mistakes that I made. But yeah, feel free to reach out separately and be happy to explain that and see if there's something that we can do to help you. Okay?
Hey, Logan.
Yes.